and I know it's died down a little bit, but it's still pretty hot. And top five went like this: Trevor Lawrence from Clemson, to no surprise to anybody. He went number one. We knew that was going to
Mhm.
happen. And then with the number two pick in the draft, the Jets, they didn't surprise anybody either
Nah.
because they took Zach Wilson from BYU, which, a lot of people,
Mhm.
questioning a little bit, saying, I don't know if that's a good move or not. We'll see. We'll see. Then at number three, the shocker of the draft, if you ask most people, now there were some that said they knew they were going to go this way, but the 49ers, of course, we know they traded up to get that
Mhm.
number three pick, and they shocked everybody by taking Trey Lance,
Yeah.
in uh, the next level down in college football. What do they call it? FCS, I think.
That's it.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
the FCS,
That's it.
and only played really one season, as a
Mhm.
starter. So they kind of surprised everybody by taking him number three, and then Florida took Kyle Pitts, the tight end from. I'm sorry, not Florida. Atlanta took Kyle Pitts, the tight end from Florida, number four. That's the highest a tight end has ever been drafted. Man, that's hey, you in rarefied air when you're doing something that's never been done.
Mhm.
And then rounding out the top five was LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase. Of course, they're reuniting him with his buddy Joe Burrow from the championship team a couple of years back. And so that's your top five. We're not going to really go through the entire top 10 or whatever. We'll talk about all the things that jumped out to us as the show goes on. But thoughts from the Tunnel Crew. What did you think about the top five?
I was very impressed with the top five, BT.
You like it?
Actually, it actually helped me with my picks. It made me look kind of good, but I was very impressed. I know that San Francisco, whenever they selected the guy from North Dakota,
Yeah.
uh, at quarterback, that really shocked everybody. But
Mhm.
I started to get a little nervous for you, boy, Barrow out of Alabama.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Mhm.
mean, he Big T. And he was dropping and dropping fast now.
Yeah.
So they were expecting him, from what I could hear, to go in, either one, two, or three.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so we was getting a little nervous about that. But I was very pleased with the draft.
Yeah.
I was.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I was.
Stupid. Nothing wrong.
I'm pretty pleased as well. The top five.
Yeah.
That was sort of a little shocker with North Dakota State quarterback.
Yeah.
They could have went either way there, but other than that, I think everything else sort of panned out. You
Yeah.
know, pretty
Yeah.
well.
Well, and the funny thing is, a lot of people were saying that Zach Wilson was the clear cut number two after Justin Fields fell
Mhm.
because he was number two for a long time, and then he slipped, and everybody was saying Zach Wilson. To me, Zach Wilson kind of came out of nowhere, though. I mean, I know at the end of the season there was a lot of talk about him, but I think of all the guys the Jets could have taken, because you're talking about the Jets, and you've made a lot of bad moves over the years, so you don't want to take a guy that's questionable.
Right. Well, with Zach Wilson, you have to look at too. I think he had a few injuries a little earlier in the season.
Hmm.
And once he overcame that, then you could see why they wanted him. He's
Yeah,
mobile guy.
yeah,
He's a pocket guy. He's what I think they was looking for. That mobile quarterback that can stretch the field and do other things that Donaldson couldn't do.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, and then you look at the rest of their picks, man. Hey, they did a pretty good job. You know.
yeah. Well, a lot of people upset with the Panthers because they could have taken Justin Fields, and they took the cornerback out of South Carolina, and a lot of people was like, that's number eight, that's a little too high to take a cornerback unless he's a shutdown corner, unless he's a Deion Sanders. Anybody? What do y'all think about the Panthers
Hey,
move?
just reading up on him. Joe Horn's son, reading up on him and just seeing some film on him. And
Yeah,
like he's one of those Big T.
yeah, yeah,
He got the long arms. He want to be line up against the best.
yeah,
And you playing in the SEC, you're dealing with them wide receivers from Alabama,
yeah,
LSU. Like that. So I can't doubt that pick. They needed a cornerback.
yeah, yeah.
They definitely needed a cornerback. So
TP, I got something I want to throw out there at you. So we know that Tariq Cohen, he's coming back off of injury, but when he's healthy and out there, he's explosive. We know what he can do. Now you throw Justin Fields in the mix, you got that quarterback that they've needed. And now they worked on the offensive line a little bit. I don't know if you noticed that, Aggie P. They went out and got a few offensive linemen, so they're also trying to build up the line. What do you think about Chicago, Tariq Cohen? What do you think they're going to do this year, TP?
Well, I think Tariq is fine, and I think that Chicago will be too. Yeah. Chicago just put out a commercial talking about, well, not so much a commercial, but like a little mini thing that they do on Instagram. Yeah. Highlighting Tariq, just letting everybody know he's coming back. Yeah. And boy, it just blew up. It just blew up. Just the footage. And some people was only one or two, you get a couple of haters. Yeah. They were saying, well, that was rookie year. And I'm like, y'all just don't know. This is every year. Just let him come back. Yeah. I do have to say though, with the draft, I was only disappointed that no one from any HBCU was picked. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because we were definitely going to throw that one out there. That's kind of surprising, and it goes against how much attention the HBCUs have been getting with the NFL players and all that stuff, getting jobs with HBCUs and putting a lot of HBCUs more into the public eye. And then you follow that up with nobody being drafted. That's kind of, man, those two things don't seem to go together.
Yeah. Right.
All right, listen up. We got some more hot topics. We'll continue with the draft, but we got to take a break. And when we come back, you're listening to At Home with the Crossover.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Band. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community, where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Make sure you catch this live edition of the show every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that by going over to YouTube and catching us on our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. And that's every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. throughout the duration of the pandemic. And then you can catch the original audio version of the show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. And you can do that online at WLJFradio.com. You can also download the WLJF 100.7 app, and it's available both on Google Play and in the iTunes Store. So be sure to catch that version on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. All right, let's get back to the hot topics right quick. And just a couple of things I want to mention about the draft before we move on, and we'll let anybody else that wants to talk about the draft say something. But I want to throw a couple of things out there for you right quick. I noticed a lot of teams went for need. And I know that's the purpose of the draft, but you don't always see teams do that. And it seemed like there were a lot of teams in particular, like Dallas, like San Francisco, teams that they're already kind of stacked on one side of the ball. So they went heavy towards the other side. Dallas went heavy on the defensive side of the ball. You saw teams like Kansas City going out and getting some more offensive linemen, even though they were very busy in free agency signing Pro Bowlers and shoring up that offensive line. They went and drafted 2 more guys that were all SEC players and things like that. So it seems like everybody is really trying to take care of some needs. It's more like a Patriots approach. It's not just going out there and getting just anybody just because it's a big name, whatever. It's like, no, we need this guy. This is who we're going to get. And that's kind of what the Panthers did. Did anybody else kind of pick up on that?
I sort of picked it up on that as well. Like I said, looking at those second and third string players, those backups that they can, bring in and not drop a beat. And so, you did see a lot of that, especially with the Panthers. You've seen a lot of that with them as well. And like I said, with Dallas, their defense, they was getting sort of old anyway. So they had to go on their side of the ball. They got a new defensive coordinator. So, they needed to, get guys in there that can, do the schemes that he liked to do. So, you seen a lot of that this past draft.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that Teddy Bridgewater was traded right before the draft. So that kind of told you what the Panthers' mindset was. They were moving on from him. They had already got Darnold, of course. And so you knew at that point, if they didn't draft the quarterback, then that means they kind of believe in Sam Darnold. And I guess that's the case. I guess they're moving forward with Sam. And, I would have kept Bridgewater because you don't know. You just don't know. You
never know, right?
Talk about Sam Darnold. He could flop. So,
I can speak on that one.
So you can speak on that?
Yeah, he was a good college quarterback, and I just don't see him as a great NFL quarterback. And I know he didn't have weapons, but he didn't look great in moments where he played for my college football team, the USC Trojans. He had moments where he looked bad there.
Yeah.
And then you look at what's happening with the Jets. Is it really all about the weapons? And you look at the Panthers, and they don't have a lot of weapons. They have a few.
Yeah.
I just really hope it works out because Southern California has a bad rep for quarterbacks in the NFL. It's really bad. Really, really.
Hey, you're not lying.
And with Teddy Bridgewater, what I noticed about that situation, I think that had something to do with trust when it came to Teddy.
Yeah.
Because it's some things that Teddy made too many mistakes as a veteran. Yeah. And I think it was some things that he did that showed the coaches that, hey, man, he's not listening. He's not listening to what we asked him to do. And when he decided to go his own way, then you see the turnovers, you seen some things that, as I've seen, is like, okay, man, he's not really trusting our judgment because he's been in the league for a while. Yeah. And I don't know if anybody else seen that, but I've seen that a great deal with him during the season.
Yeah.
It wasn't surprising to me that may come up because of what I saw.
I think one of the things that hurt him is they had 7 one-score games where they had the ball at the end with a chance to win and didn't win any of them. That's not a good look for a quarterback, So, I mean, I feel bad for Teddy because he seems like a good guy from everything they say, but, he's in Denver now. So we'll see what happens out there.
Good safety net.
Get the paycheck.
What's that?
It's a good safety net.
Yeah. Hey, did y'all hear about Tim Tebow requesting a tryout with the Jags as a tight end?
I heard that.
So he announced he's officially retired from baseball. He's done with that. Stats?
Pick one, Tim. Which one are you gonna do? Be an analyst. Be an analyst.
Tim said as long as I can play a sport, I'm gonna play a sport. Somebody said he's gonna show up in hockey next. He's gonna try out for the Hurricanes.
He's gonna be Bo Nose.
Your Bo Nose, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the next hottest story of the day because it actually coincides with the draft, and that, of course, is Green Bay quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So the news now is he pretty much is done in Green Bay in his mind. He said he wants out. And, last year, let's go back to last year, the draft last year at this time, they took what is perceived to be his replacement, in Jordan Love. And that there's pretty much been a rift ever since. I mean, that pretty much it's no secret that he was not happy because he said they needed help at wide receiver, they needed weapons, and instead of getting him weapons, they went out and got his replacement. So that definitely wasn't a good look. And so what did he do? He came back this year and had an MVP season. He won the league MVP, and these were his stats: 4,299 yards, 48 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 70% completion percentage. Now that's how you respond to somebody drafting your replacement. You say, "Oh, you want to replace me? All right, here's an MVP season."
Right.
Well, things still aren't going well because there was the problem in the NFC Championship game where they didn't let him go for it on 4th down. They kicked the field goal. They never got the ball back because Brady had it, and what's going to happen then. And we talked about that on the show. And so now the reports are saying he will not go back to Green Bay unless the general manager is replaced, which that doesn't sound like, Aaron Rodgers, but he was interviewed at the Kentucky Derby this weekend, and he said, I hate that got out. That was his response. So real quick, I want to start with, we got 2 Packer fans on the crew. We got Bromell and we got Radar. This is a Packer thing, so I want to start with you guys. Give me your thoughts on A-Rod.
If I may start off, Bromell, first and foremost, Aaron Rodgers loves to shirk the blame. Period, point blank. As soon as it gets hot, he jumps out the bus and leaves it running down the road. And I've never seen any other potentially Hall of Fame quarterback do this. So it's beyond me for him to shirk the blame when he didn't make the passes in a home playoff game against Tom Brady. If that ain't enough mischief, I don't know what is. So I think he's just trying to get out of the kitchen while it's hot. And that's all I have to say on that. I'm gonna throw it to Bromell.
Yeah, I just look at it saying that, it's about, I want to put it, it's about control. I think it's all about control because, he's been there for a while or whatever. Weapons, he can play with any guys. He had enough guys to throw the ball to. Yeah. So, it's not that he needed more weapons. It's just the point is that they didn't, at the end, they didn't make the plays that needed to be made.
Yeah.
And you just got a new GM when you got somebody new coming into the scene and you've been there for a while, then who else you gonna blame?
Yeah.
You got to put the blame on somebody else. So, but I'll tell you this, if he's not playing, then they're gonna hurt. Because, just reading the backup is not ready yet.
Yeah.
So, who you gonna turn to?
Yeah. But you do have a young division. You have a young, a vulnerable division. You ain't got a lot of people in there making a lot of noise.
Yeah.
And you're right, because
so it's anybody's ball game, in my opinion, especially with Justin Fields. And I mean, you can wait on Tariq Cohen to come around, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that guy. I mean, that's just me. Yeah.
Shots fired.
No, I know I can be impartial sometimes.
I think you're right, Radar. That division is not as strong as far as the quarterback position goes this year. So, if Fields can come in and have a halfway decent, performance, I think, you put Chicago up there. But the Lions, Minnesota, they up and down. So it could be an exciting division this year.
Well, and they said that you also got the general manager shipping Jordy Nelson out, which was one of his favorite receivers, and so that didn't sit. So it's like everything they seem to be doing is working against him, and he's a little bit salty because of that. There's also reports that his fiance Shailene Woodley, the actress, she's been in on all the meetings with the Packers personnel at his when they come to his house. How much influence you think she's having?
Oh wow!
Hopefully, but think about this: they got Aaron. They had the tailback signed for less money. That left money on the table. Then they just re-signed Adams, so that means they left money available. He just has to be patient and make the plays.
Yeah.
Well, it's something going on in the house.
Yeah.
Big T. I mean, I'm listening to all of this, and I don't know. I mean, like you said, last year he put up the big numbers.
Yeah.
And you got a quarterback there to replace him. So I mean, he should be fine, but it's something that we all don't know that's going on behind the scenes. And what you just said might be it. Now, his wife is sitting up with him in the meetings.
Yeah.
I mean, man, we don't know what's going on with that, but
Dancing and Delilah.
Thank you. I mean, thank you, Radon. So hey, to be continued, Big T.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
And Big T.
Yeah.
I got a point to add for you.
Yeah.
Look, he's really upset because they drafted another quarterback and someone with the same last name as him. It's both at the same time.
It's both. hey, here's what's funny too. I laughed at the draft. I think you mentioned about all the teams reuniting players from college. There were several teams that drafted teammates or put them with a guy that played with them the year before, like quarterback, receiver. We saw Jalen Hurts being reunited with Devontae Smith, and of course we mentioned Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and Tua with Jalen Waddle. I also noticed something else, and this is real stupid, really, but what's up with it? Everybody drafting all these guys with the same name, bunch of Jalens. Miami got 2 Jalens, and there was a couple other teams got to go. I mean, you're going to have some confusion going, hey, Jalen. Everybody going to be looking around like, which one you talking to, me?
Right.
So it's just, I thought that was funny, too. I was like, man, how many Jalens we going to get, But Miami was the only one. There was like 2 or 3 other teams that were drafting guys, and I was like, everybody drafting these guys the same name.
And Devontae, too, is more of those, too.
Yeah, definitely. All right, we're going to jump to you stats right quick for the Major League Baseball report. A couple of things I know you're going to probably hit on no-hitters and the Giants surprising everybody. And your Dodgers, you're still waiting for Cody Bellinger to come back. So go ahead and take it away, my man.
All right, so the month of April was unlike anything I have ever seen in baseball watching in my life. I saw a snowstorm. A game being played during 2 snowstorms, no less. There was one in Denver between the Diamondbacks and the Rockies, and that game went 14 innings, and there was a runner placed at second base every inning, and it took that long. And then I'd never seen that one. Also, think about this. They played in the snowstorm in the the Indians-Tigers opener as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that was terrible. It's been a lot of things that have happened that have never happened. The Padres threw their first no-hitter in 50 years plus years as a franchise. Joe Musgrove, formerly the Pittsburgh Pirate. Yes, a Pittsburgh Pirate threw a no-hitter. It just took him going to a different team to do it. He threw one against the Texas Rangers down there in Dallas and has been terrible since, unfortunately. And then you have Carlos Rodon for the White Sox. He threw one against the Indians. And the Indians somehow have been better since that. Then you look at the Cincinnati Reds. They had won a game on Sunday by a score of 15-12 against the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
Strikeouts are up this year. Walks are up. Home runs are up. One thing to say the same is Jacob deGrom is still not getting any runs scored for him. Yeah. He has an ERA under 1, and he has 2 wins on the season. 2-2 is his record. The Mets fired their hitting coach. The Braves, they have injuries right now. No one's running away with the National League East. The National League West, the Dodgers are trailing the series to the Padres 4-3. Both teams dealt with injuries. The Diamondbacks are playing very well. They had a no-hitter out of Madison Bumgarner, the Hickory, North Carolina native. It didn't count officially, but he did thank the commissioner for giving them 7-inning games. I'm sure it saved his arm a little bit. The Snakes are actually above 500 right now. So you got 3-4 teams slugging it out in the NL West. You got about 3 teams slugging it out in the Central. And really, no one's looked particularly great so far. Everybody's pitching's been up and down, which is what you come to expect in April. But the offenses have been a sore sight. You have a lot of low batting averages. Max Fried's coming back for the Braves, so you'd hope that would spark them to start playing a little more consistently. The Mets are still missing Noah Syndergaard. The Phillies have been win 1, lose 1, and they have beef with the Mets right now because Michael Conforto was thrown at twice in April. And he didn't like that too much. Jose Alvarado actually was screaming at Dominic Smith on Sunday Night Baseball last week after he threw at him and struck him out. Don't quite understand that one, but it's baseball for you in 2021. So everybody, please just stay tuned. It's a real good season so far. The Dodgers and Padres play about 12 more times.
Yeah.
And that's been like a World Series atmosphere. So
yeah, great series so far.
And the Yankees and Red Sox, that series coming up soon. The Red Sox look really good, surprisingly. They look real good. The Yankees don't look so great, but they're trying to turn it around. So everybody stay tuned, and we have a lot of divisions that are going to come down to the last week of the season. A lot of divisions.
Hey, I got one question for you.
Mhm.
We talked on the show. You weren't on the show that week, but we talked about Bumgarner and the 7-inning no-hitter. And the question I have for you is, why don't they change that rule? Why don't they say, if you have a no-hitter going through 7, go ahead and play it out?
Well, there are a lot of things that they haven't quite addressed yet. And another one that happened the other day, the Phillies actually had one of the weirdest plays I've ever seen happen before, where Andrew McCutchen was called out at second base. And he actually was safe at second base, but the runner was out at first. But the umpire ruled that he was out at first. And then the first base umpire ruled that it was a double play. And you cannot, they said that McCutchen ran out the base path on the way to second base, but he stayed in the base path, but they still called him out. And you can't review that play because the umpire made the call on the field. So Major League Baseball, I think it's one of those years where they're realizing, oh my goodness, we put that rule in place. Now we have to change it.
We have too many rules.
Yeah, too many rules, and you have a lot of long reviews. The reviews aren't really much of an issue as it is the things that can't be changed, like umpires' judgment calls as far as where the runner's running on the bases. That can't be changed, and that needs to be fixed. Because when you get late in the season, you're going to have a lot of angry managers. And a lot of helmets are going to be thrown on the field and Gatorade coolers come September if that's determining your playoff status.
Hey, I don't know about y'all, but my head is spinning after that. Hey, everybody, be sure to catch this live at-home edition of the Crossover every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that on YouTube at our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you get there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. And then find us on our original day and time on Thursday nights on the radio for the audio version, the original Crossover Sports Show. You can catch that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also catch that version of the show on our Love and Faith 100.7 WLJF app, which is available both in the Google Play and iTunes stores. When we come back, we'll wrap up the hot topics and do our question of the day.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, the joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometowninservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, 2 locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
We're helping people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
100.7 WLJF.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Make sure to catch this version of the show. It's live every Tuesday night on YouTube. And go to YouTube and check out our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and tell all your friends about it. Then you can find us on our original day and time on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. for the original audio version of the Crossover Sports Show. You can listen to that edition online at WLJFradio.com. You can also check it out on our 100.7 WLJF app, which is available in Google Play and in the iTunes store. So make sure to catch both versions of the show every week, Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on YouTube, Thursday nights at 7 p.m. on WLJFradio.com. Hey, y'all remember when I was telling you a bunch of teams drafted guys with the same names? I looked it up while we were on break, and I said there's gonna be a lot of confused people out there. The who was it here? The Jets, I believe. Yeah, the Jets took 2 Michael Carters, both of them from the ACC. One from Duke, one from Carolina. Carter, of course, running back from Carolina, and safety from Duke. The 49ers took 2 Treys, Trey Lance and Trey Sermon. And, of course, like I said, my Dolphins took 2 Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips. So, man, come on. Everybody, hey, Jalen, hey, Trey, who you talking to? And then that Michael Carter thing.
M1 and M2. And then you got J1.
You're going to have to come up with something. All right. The Kentucky Derby took place last week. We're going to put a bow on our hot topics here. Kentucky Derby took place last week, the 147th running of the Kentucky Derby. And the underdog, one of the underdogs, Medina Spirit, the black horse, went wire to wire and won the thing. And I think he was expected to finish third according to the odds and everything, but he went wire to wire. The 2 favorites, the 2 hottest horses that everybody was talking about the most, Essential Quality and Known Agenda, they finished 4th and 9th. And then I don't know if y'all. Oh, by the way, the trainer of Medina Spirit, Bobby Baffert, he's trained 7 Kentucky Derby winners.
Wow.
The most all time. So I guess you could say he's the Tom Brady of the Kentucky Derby trainers, you know?
The GOAT of horse racing?
He's the GOAT of horse racing. You know? But this was something interesting that I saw, y'all. So there was a black jockey in the running on Saturday. And check this out. A black jockey has not won the Kentucky Derby since 1902. So it's been over 100 years since a black jockey has won. But this is something I didn't know. 13 of the 15 jockeys in the first Kentucky Derby ever run in 1875 were black.
Wow.
13 out of the 15 were black. And check this out. 15 out of the first 28 Kentucky Derby winners were black jockeys.
Wow.
So what has happened to the black jockey that we haven't had a winner in over 100 years? And I think this is the first black jockey that we've had in the Derby since 2015. Man, how does it change like that, you know?
The invention of football and basketball.
Started eating better, Big T.
Started eating better.
Yeah, the lifestyle changed a little bit, you know. Hey,
one thing, as we know, is to be a jockey, you know, you have to be a certain height and a certain size.
Yeah.
And most African American men the average is like 6'1", 6'2".
Exactly.
So that's already too tall.
Hey, we outgrew that.
Yeah, and then if I do find somebody who's maybe, which is very rare to find somebody that's tall enough or within that height restraint, then you got to worry about weight, because you can't put too much weight on the horse, so you got to be light.
That's right, because you slow them down if you.
Yeah. And, you know, and I'm only saying this because of recent reports, but as we know, most people like chicken. Did y'all hear about the chicken shortage?
Yeah.
So, you know, back then, you know, I'm just looking at back then and now, you know.
Let us pray.
Hey, you know what? You know what too? Also, Tunnel Crew. I saw a couple of documentaries about horse racing, and to be a jockey is a very underpaid and undervalued profession. You have to be like with a club and be with them for a while before you really start to, you know, start to pay off dividends for you as a jockey. Yeah. And it's mostly immigrants now doing the racing horses now.
Yeah. Well, I thought that was interesting. And by the way, the jockey's name was Kendrick Carmucci, and the horse's name was Bourbonic, and he finished 13th, so he didn't win. But hey, at least he ran, right? You know.
Yeah, that's right.
Congratulations to the guy.
I think Brother P can be a jockey.
Yeah. Hey, I thought I saw that pop up. But
yeah, I think he can. I think you can.
We might have to get us a Total Crew horse and get Percy to ride him. All right, let's jump on into our question of the day here right quick. And it's basically, how do you think your team did in the draft? If you don't have a favorite team, what other teams did that impressed you? You can talk about that. And it's basically just a continuation of our opening segment when we were breaking down the draft. This allows everybody to get into it in a little bit more detail, talk a little bit more about what you want to talk about pertaining to the draft. But if you want to talk about your team, have at it. So we'll go ahead and throw that out there to the crew.
Beautiful.
Come on, Bird, man. You've been waiting on this time. This is you.
Up, baby. Beautiful. It's beautiful that we got Devontae Smith. And even it's just like ecstasy trading up with the Giants. Yo, some of y'all are mad right now. Some of y'all are big mad. Man, but Howie still needs to do a better job in drafting. Why we didn't need a wide receiver. We couldn't get everybody on defense. The plan was we were supposed to get either Micah Parsons or J.C. Horn. Mm-hmm. Since they were taken off the board, we had no choice but to, the Cowboys, they don't need no receiver. They need defense. So let's trade up with somebody that don't really need a receiver so we could go and get the top receiver off the board. And then second, third round, we started focusing on offensive line and defense, which I don't understand when you should have focused on that in the first round because we didn't really need Devontae Smith.
Hey, I'm going to say something real quick because Aggie P said it last week. You just don't know what you're getting until years later. Man, hey, I bet you Birdman going to be singing a different tune if Devontae Smith is leading the league in receptions and touchdowns next year. He'll be, we did the right thing.
Yeah.
But, I support the team. I don't support players. That's me. I support the team. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Actually, that is a direct target to me. But Aggie P, how do you feel? What were you saying about your team, the Giants? Since he was talking about the Giants.
Yeah, the New York Giants. We needed defensive players.
Yeah.
We needed an outside rusher, some linebackers. And we did pick up some, but I'm very upset that we didn't get the kid out of Penn State. Parsons,
yeah.
Yeah. This kid, runs a 4.340.
Yeah.
Now, you got quarterbacks that don't, a lot of positions, running backs that can't run a 4.340.
Yeah.
So nothing else, this kid can go from sideline to sideline, and he's a very aggressive kid. And Dallas traded up and snatched him. And I was very, 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 very upset with that. But other than that, we did get a wide receiver who's a playmaker out of Florida. I'm looking for big things from him, and we managed to get a pass rusher from Georgia. So he'll reunite with the kid, that they recruited last year on the offensive line from Georgia. Mm-hmm. So there's that same team thing again.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with it, but I'm still the type person that you can draft all of these players, but hey, you got to put that perfect 11 on the field and play together.
Yeah.
And that could be from free agency, that could be a walk-on, that could be a veteran or anyone. So so I'm okay. Draft thing to me, I don't get too excited.
Yeah.
Because you just don't know who's going to shine when the lights come on.
That's right.
But hey, it is what it is. I take who we got as long as we beat Dallas and the Eagles. That's all
that ain't happening. Y'all ain't getting
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
That ain't happening.
So they're pretty much sold on Daniel Jones then.
Yeah, they I was hoping for something, Big T.
Yeah.
They might step up, but they sold on Jones. Hey, he's our guy.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna roll with it, man.
Hey, anybody else got any thoughts on their team or any other team? Radar.
Yeah, you know what? Frankly, I'm glad Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. It's time for a new regime. He's done what he could do. He got lucky with that first Super Bowl. I tell him to his face. And That's about it. Yeah, it's time for him to go. I wish we would have got Justin Fields instead of Chicago, because they like Rick Cohen going to do anything.
But you don't know what
with him. He can't catch until
you don't know what you got.
Run on that, knee he got there.
Radar, that's why I'm glad you fading out, because you ain't talking nothing but nonsense. You know what I'm saying? You ain't talking nothing but nonsense.
We can get another quarterback.
Your Wi-Fi is taken.
Hey, you don't know
out.
Yeah. Hey, you don't know what you got in Jordan Love, man. So be careful what you wish for. Cause
Radar, he wearing them shades because he's sweating underneath them. He's nervous. He's very nervous about Green Bay.
Okay, but refresh my memory. But refresh my memory. We just pull a choke job at home in Green Bay against Tom Brady. If you can't beat Tom Brady at this point, and we've been saying you're more talented than him, I'm done with you. Hit the rock. I don't care. We got stats back there playing quarterback. Let's go, man. Let's go.
He sound like an angry Packers fan, no?
He does.
Talking about he want to go on.
Brother Mayo, come in and rescue him, man.
Let me rescue him a little bit. I think, I think the Packers.
Bro, Mel, he choked. He choked. It's time to go, man.
Hey, we still got some mileage on that trade.
Nah,
as far as the Packers, I think they addressed some issues, in their draft. Some offensive line, cornerback, defensive lineman, linebacker. So I think they went across the board of basically addressing some of their needs. Yeah. And like everyone said, especially the AGP, you ain't gonna see that fruit until probably 2-3 years later.
That's right.
And what you have, that's why you have a lot of teams going out and getting veterans and then drafting these, younger players to be those backups. So I can take that and what they did. I think the most intriguing thing to me that I saw with the Panthers is they traded enough to get at least 11 picks this year.
Yeah.
I think that was smart considering, the amount of picks they originally had, and then they end up having almost 11 picks. Mm-hmm. Oh man, you saved a lot of money right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Stats.
I like the Parsons pick a lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't like what's happening with the line, to be completely honest with you. I don't really like that offensive line at all, really. And I haven't liked it for about 6 or 7 years. It's just not getting any better. It's not gotten better at all, and they haven't really addressed it. And they got a lot of flash on the receiver position. But it doesn't matter if you can't throw them the ball because you're getting sacked. So that's part of my problem with the Cowboys. They're going to have to do something with the offensive linemen. They're going to have to get a free agent or do something to bring in some linemen that are young to protect Dak, because he's a mobile quarterback. He's not just going to stand there in the pocket all day. He's going to run. And, we have receivers that are going to run routes that you haven't seen. Mm. So, you got to have better line protection. I do like the defense, and I don't like the secondary, but the line and the linebackers are much improved.
Well, and you're right, but you have to look at the line that they had. All those guys. What happened? They done got hurt. Some of them, retired and so forth. Mm-hmm. When it was rolling, and like you said, they didn't, plan for this. So they didn't have those backups that they should have had. But that's the key. That's the key to their offense. They don't have no offensive linemen.
No line.
Well, hey, they couldn't get any linemen because Kansas City went out and scooped them all up. I mean, they got 2 guys by free agency, 2 guys by the draft, and 2 guys by trade. They were basically like, after seeing Mahomes on his back,
never again. Never again.
That was a record. Nobody's been pressured or sacked that many times in the game. They were like, okay, we got to fix this, and so. Actually, we talked about it on the show, though. Something would have fixed it before having to get all these guys. Change your game plan. Change your philosophy. You see the man getting chased down every other play.
Yeah.
Do something else.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
I have one, but it's not exactly part of the draft. But to me, he was drafted, and that's Mac McCain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My man, Mac.
Mac McCain to that's right, the Denver Broncos.
They got a steal.
Yes, I I understand everything about the draft, but I'm just really disappointed this year when it comes to the HBCUs. And, you know, I was never a really big Deion fan, but recently, you know, he posted about how disappointing it was for the HBCUs.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm talking about it with Deion is because before COVID, he really did push for the HBCUs. I feel like he did put his, he did do something as far as towards an effort in going to, you know, to Jackson State. And so he just didn't just say it and left it alone. I feel like by him trying to contribute, and especially because we have been putting out the call to come to HBCUs, I feel like that was a good initiative to get more people who have been in the NFL to come. I know Jerry Rice has really been trying to push it in his own way as well. So I have to give my shout out to Mac McCain.
Yeah.
It's not just because, well, of course, primarily it's because he worked hard, but it's a lot of pressure. It's a lot of pressure for him when, you know, you're coming from a legacy of a family, you know, that's well known across the world. And then people are expecting you to step up in some type of way, but he's doing it his own way. So I had to give that shout out to him.
Yeah.
But you know, you also had a HBCU at the what's the but you know, it's Brian Mills. Brian Mills from North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
You know, he played in the Senior Bowl, and that's what I was trying to say. He played in the Senior Bowl, so his stock was up there at the top, and he still didn't get drafted.
Yeah.
So you know, there is, you know, it's hard, but you know, they'll bounce back. You don't have to worry about it. HBCUs will bounce back.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, make sure to catch this live at-home edition of the Crossover, at home with the Crossover, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And you can do that by logging on to YouTube and looking up our Love and Faith Radio YouTube channel. Once you're there, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the show. Then you can catch, and that's Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Then you can catch the original audio version of the show on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. You can do that online at WLJFradio.com. And you can also do that by downloading the 100.7 WLJF app, which is available in the Google Play and iTunes stores. When we come back, it's time for the wrap-up.
Why so sad when the joy is here? What's the answer? Joy in the morning, the crossover. You can find them all right here on 100.7 WLJF. There's no need to be down when there's plenty of joy to go around. Get your daily dose and turn that frown upside down. Love and Faith Radio, 100.7 WLJF, The Joy.
My name is Priscilla Van. I'm with Hometown Insurance Service. I'm an independent insurance agent that specializes in Medicare, senior solutions, life, and health. I work with dozens of companies so that I can offer you the appropriate coverage as well as the affordable price for your insurance needs. If I can help you, please contact me at my website, hometowninsuranceservice.com, or email me at hometown.inservice, or you can find me on Facebook at Hometown Insurance Service. Thank you.
Times are changing. We all have questions about the future. Join us as we find the answers through the Word of God.
Love and Faith Christian Fellowship invites you to join our congregation. One church, two locations, Greensboro and Kernersville.
It's time now for the Crossover
We're helping
Wrap-Up.
people on their path to find God as we provide spiritual leadership and growth through diverse ministry.
Celebrating over 25 years of ministry. Join our Love and Faith community where Jesus Christ is Lord and the people are loved.
All right, welcome back to At Home with the Crossover. Time for the wrap up. But before we go into the records and the picks for this week, just want to throw a couple of things out there real quick. Last night, Russell Westbrook had another triple-double, okay? And this dude, if you didn't see the stat line, 14 points, 21 rebounds, 24 assists against Indiana. But, you know, it's becoming like old news for him. Let me listen to these numbers, y'all. He's had a game of 25 points, 14 rebounds, 14 assists before this year, 23 points, 14 rebounds, 15 assists, 35, 14, and 21, 35, 15, and 13. And he's also done the 20 and 20 before, 20 points, 20 rebounds, 20 assists against Oklahoma City earlier this year. He's currently 177 games, triple doubles. That puts him only 4 behind Oscar Roberts for all-time record. Oscar Roberts has 181. Put that in perspective, Magic Johnson in his career is number 3 all-time, 138 triple doubles, okay, in his career. Jason Kidd is number 4, 107 triple doubles in his career. And Russell Westbrook's probably got about 5 or 6 more years left to play, if not more. So once he passes Oscar Roberts, he's going to put that thing out of reach, you know. So congratulations to him. And then Luka Doncic played against him on Saturday. He tried to show him up. He had 30 points, 20 assists, but 1 turnover. I think they said it's the first time in NBA history that's ever happened. So, I mean, we got some guys out there that are showing out, y'all. And then did you see LaMelo Ball is back?
Yeah.
Also, that pass that he threw, that pass was perfect on the money. And what was it, underhand? And he hit the guy in stride going down the court it's like an underhand touchdown pass. So, and he probably will win Rookie of the Year. And the Hornets are in the playoff mix. I mean, they might make the playoffs, so it'd be interesting. All right, let's jump into the standings and the picks. And last week, Aggie P went 4-1. He won the week. Congratulations, Aggie P.
Thank you.
Aggie P.
Me, Birdman, Bromel, and Stats all went 3-2. And Radar and TP went 2-3. So it wasn't a terrible week overall for the Tunnel Crew. I don't think anybody just completely bombed. And then the overall standings look like this. I have 78 wins. Birdman is in second with 67 wins. Radar third with 66. Stats with 64 is next. Aggie P has 63. TP has 57. And Bromel has 47. Let's get to the picks for this week. We've got the Nets at the Mavs on Thursday night. Lakers at Clippers on Thursday night. And the Denver Nuggets at the Jazz on Friday night. And then we got the Major League Baseball series for the weekend. The Padres at the Giants. Padres are 16-13. Giants are 17-11. And you just got to pick the team that you think will win that series. Let's start with Aggie P since he won the week last week. Let's go with Aggie P first up on the docket.
Okay, well, we're going to go with the Nets, the Lakers,
all right,
the Nuggets, and the Giants.
All right, there we go. We got Aggie P's picks down. Go with Birdman.
We're going with the Mavs, the Nuggets, the Giants. I'm calling an audible. Everybody's picking my team, the Lakers, so I'll pick the Lakers.
Oh, you switched to the Lakers. Yeah. All right, we got you. Appreciate that, Bird. TP.
Okay, first I just wanted to give a shout out to all of our YouTube listeners. We have a lot of people online, so I really want to say thank you so much for your support. And I'm going to have Big T to read mine.
All right. The Queen has the Nets, the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Padres. There you go. All right, let's move on to Radar. Radar, give us yours.
First of all, I'd like to say I wish you was that enthusiastic when you would read my picks. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. First, I'm going to go with the Nets. I'm going to pull audible on Birdman's audible.
Oh,
I'm picking the Clippers. I was going to pick the Lakers, but you know what? Since he picking the Lakers, and then Stats up here wearing that tacky jersey tonight, I'm definitely going to choose the Clippers tonight. That's an omen. And then I'm going to go with the Nets, the Jazz, and then the Padres.
Oh, man. All right, Stats, give us yours.
All right, I'm going to go with the Nets. I got the Lakers. Show's over for the Giants. The collapse is coming. Padres and the Jazz.
Jazz, all right. Got you down.
The red hit to Aggie P. The red hit.
No. He talking baseball. He knows better than that.
Yeah, I ain't talking about
look, that Dallas Cowboys fan better
They ain't doing nothing either this year.
First of all, neither one of y'all have championships that are recent, so don't talk.
If you go for
Romel, get your picture.
I'm gonna go ahead on. I'm gonna take the Mavericks, the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Padres.
All right, and my picks are: I'm taking the Mavs, the Clippers, the Jazz, and the Padres. I think I took the same thing as Bromel. So, all right, shout outs everybody.
I like to start off with "Shut Up and Play" for LeBron James. Quit being a sore loser. Nurse that little sore ankle back to health and be ready for the playoffs. That's who my shut up play is for.
Anybody else?
I got one.
Yes, sir.
All right, I got the Oakland Athletics. Yes, the Moneyball Athletics. They started 1-7 this year. Everybody threw them away, and then they won 13 in a row, and now they're in first place. You gotta love Moneyball. By the way, if you haven't seen that movie, it's good. It's about how to build a winning team without spending a lot of money. Very good movie. Very good movie.
TP?
No, I just want to say nothing. Just support everybody.
All right, Aggie P.
Shout out to the Dudley Panthers on a good spring football season.
All right.
One shy of the championship, but hey, they had a good spring year.
Yeah. Radar, you got one? Oh, you already gave yours. All right, Bromel, did you give one?
No, but I just want to give a shout out to all those players who, got drafted. That's a big accomplishment, and I just give a shout out to them. A dream come true.
Birdman?
Hey, shout out to the viewers that Miss TP just said. It's part of the Autism Foundation. I do lots of TikTok, so that's where all of them are coming from.
All right, cool. Hey, my shout out is to Grimsley. They made it to the 4A state title game. Hey, these boys hadn't won the state championship since 1960. So go down there to Chapel Hill and get it done on Friday. All right, for the Queen, for Aggie, for
No weapon,
for Radar, for Stats, for Birdman. Sorry, y'all, but we up against a heartbreak. I'm your man, Big T, signing off for saying no matter where you are, look up and know that your creator's there. Until next time, see ya, and I might want to be ya.
That's all we have for you today. So be sure to join us next week for The Crossover. And remember, the Tunnel Crew don't play unless we have something to say.